Hey, what is up, guys? So I'm back, and I'm going to be doing another explanation of something that people seem a little bit confused at regarding Star Wars The Force Awakens. Now, this is going to involve taking my time and really explaining what happened in the 30 years before we get to The Force Awakens. And this is going to talk about how the First Order came to be and how the Resistance is different than the Rebellion. So, we're going to have to go all the way back to the beginning of this, which is coincidentally the end of Return of the Jedi. So as the Return of the Jedi is happening, we of course have, the Rebel Alliance versus the Galactic Empire, which has been around for about 25 years, once it rose at the hands of course, Palpatine. Now, he's controlling everything, and granted, after that fight, after the second Death Star destroyed, not everything is okay. Not everything is peace. Not everybody is happy. Obviously, there's still supporters of the Galactic Empire, and they keep fighting for what they believe is right. But now we see that this Rebel Alliance has gained steam, a whole bunch of steam, and they reformed the Republic. Now, the Republic is, it's much like the old ways of what happened, before the Galactic Empire took off. They're trying to reform that. And they actually move their capital. They move it away from Coruscant. Now, the Galactic Empire does actually have a full collapse. They can't maintain what they're doing. So, once they're actually, kind of drawn out, they realize it's kind of pointless to do this. Both of these sides actually agree on a peace treaty. There's, it's bound to happen at some point. But, of course, within each side, there is still resistance. Both sides are still kind of like, all right, this is great, that's great, we achieved peace, everything is fine, but there's still people within both of these that are like, well, I don't trust those people and I don't like what they were doing, so they start fighting their own small individual wars. Now, in the book Star Wars Aftermath, which takes place, a little bit after Return of the Jedi, we know that the Emperor kind of found stuff at the outside of the galaxy, like right there near the edges, some of the unexplored territory, and he sent some people out there. Well, after this agreement is made, there's actually a bunch of Imperials that are pretty mad that this happened because they still believe in the way that they were raised. Obviously, you're raised from childhood to believe this. You're going to believe it regardless of what's happening. And they go to these unknown regions too, and, they're kind of dormant for a while. And a couple years later, here comes the First Order. Now, the First Order starts on the outsides from these unknown regions and starts working their way forward into the core worlds, into the inner rim of the galaxy. This is where all the, important planets are. So we start to see this, very weird disconnect between the two sides, because now the Republic is kind of dismissing them, being like, listen, we made our peace with the Galactic Empire. They're serving in our Senate. A lot of them are good. These are just a bunch of, crazy lunatics. Let them go. And this is how they come up with the Starkiller base, because the actual Republic isn't paying much attention to them. They think they're just a joke. Now, Leia doesn't see it this way. She sees that there's a greater threat, and obviously at the fall of, her son, we see why she would believe that, because she knows he's going to go and lead them. So she actually forms the Resistance, which is a, smaller based rebellion style, like Rebel Alliance style, even smaller squad of people to take on the First Order before they can amass a giant army. Now, when they start doing this, the Republic actually starts seeing, oh man, okay, so maybe you were right in this aspect. What are we going to do now? Well, Leia says to them, all right, how about you guys fund me, and you make it seem like that you're still, the First Order's out there, and yeah, okay, they'll kind of be like the separatists and, the normal people in the prequels, like, you can talk with both of us, but fund us secretly. Here's the problem. Snoke and Hux know that this is happening. They can sense it. They can, not force sense, obviously, with Hux, but he can sense that this is happening because he's clearly, a smart person. He knows what's happening. He knows, but he can't really prove it. So he's really pissed at them, naturally, because he's like, well, you're supposed to be supporting both, but I know you're funding the Resistance, which is trying to take us out. Which, of course, brings us to The Force Awakens. So the First Order, of course, has the Starkiller base that they've built over this amount of time that no one's really paying attention to them. And that's where we get General Hux, and he gives his speech, okay, we're going to actually, go out there, we're going to stop these traitors. They're supposed to support both sides. I know they're not. I know they don't see our ways, they see us as terrible people, but we'll show them the power of the First Order. So they fire up the Starkiller base, and yeah, they blow up the new capital of the Republic. Now, if you guys remember, I actually told you that the capital of the Republic moved. It was not on Coruscant anymore, so the planet that's actually blown up is Hosnian Prime. And that is pretty much the history of how, like the simple history I want to say, of how everything came to be and to this point. So when you really look at it, there's a lot of mirroring, of course, of what's happening, with the original trilogy, and then of course the prequels. It's just how this goes. It might have been a little hard to kind of explain in the movie, and some of it kind of went over a lot of people's heads, but I hope this video helps you guys and kind of just goes into the details of everything that happened. So let me know what you guys think about this, or if maybe I messed up, I don't know. So thank you for watching the video, and if you guys like what you saw, don't forget to like and subscribe, and if you haven't already, check out some of these other great videos we have on the channel. Just click the annotation right there, it'll take you to them. Thank you for watching, guys, and have a good one.